When clients think about switching vendors or taking it back in-house, they typically have 6 main things or considerations. The top one being cost. They might have signed a long-term deal, multi-year, and they find now, when talking to their peers, they're paying more than everybody else. And so their pricing is not in line with market conditions. They may have also changed their baseline. Perhaps they divested some of their business, and now what they have to deliver is much smaller, and they figure they can do it better themselves at a different cost model. Control is also another area. You might want to have greater control over your data, or maybe you're getting new security or regulatory regulations by the government on how you secure data. Or maybe you're just frustrated that you can't tell people what to do. When we outsource, we say, here's the scope of work, provider, deliver to this scope of work, and we're going to manage you by outcomes, by the performance metrics. Many clients, though, struggle because when they internally ran the delivery, they could change priorities. They could tell people, stop what you're doing, work on this. And in some cases, they find that outsourcing has created too many restrictions, and they're not flexible enough, and they just want control back. So they want to return to insourcing. You could also be looking at change in business direction. Again, maybe the business is now moving to multiple geographies, and maybe your current supplier is not in those geographies and would have to bring a third party to bear to deliver, but you don't believe it's going to be effective. So we might want to reconsider bringing in a new supplier. My requirements could have changed. Or maybe I have a new senior executive come in who has a very strong opinion about what vendors they like to work with. I always work with vendor X, get rid of the one we have, and bring in X. Not uncommon in the industry. We also might have new technology offerings, so we want to change the method of delivery. Or when we first outsourced, there was different providers available than what we have now, so I might want to think through some of that. I also might want to realign my current delivery needs to my current business requirements. If I sign multi-year deals, often my needs change, and unless I create a flexible contract, it's very much misaligned, and the business is probably screaming. I might be very well frustrated with delivery. They're just not performing, either how we anticipated, or they might not be even living up to the obligations in the contract. Or I thought things were in the contract and that they weren't. So 6 main drivers to think about when thinking about insourcing or switching.